Hi, I'm Jason Seifert, and I'm going to be talking today about blocks in Ruby. Blocks are used extensively in Ruby, and if you've used Ruby even just a little bit, you've probably been exposed to blocks at one time or another. In Ruby, you'll often hear that everything is an object. Blocks are actually going to be one of the few things that are the exception to that rule. A block in Ruby is actually syntax. See, when you create a block, at its inception, a block is not an object. It's not a method, and it's not an argument to a method. Code blocks are not method arguments. Blocks can actually be passed to methods independently of arguments. A block is actually its own thing. One of the really special things about blocks in Ruby is that they are not immediately evaluated. Ruby saves them for later, and they run within the context of however you call them. So right now what we're going to do is take a look at a few different ways of working with blocks in Ruby. There's two different ways to create blocks in Ruby. The first way is to use the do and end keywords. The second way to create a block in Ruby is to use the curly brace. Now, what's happening here, if you look at this statement, this right here that's highlighted, that is our block. And what's happening with its block is that it's being executed in the context of each member of this array. So we go through, we've got the 1, we print 1 to the screen. And the same thing happens with 2 and 3. Now that we know how to write a block, let's go ahead and implement a method that calls a block that we write. So what we're going to do is write a method that prints hello to the screen and then do something with a block. So we're going to call this method say hello. Now if you look at this method we wrote, we've got this funny little ampersand in front of the block word. And what the ampersand does is tells Ruby to expect a block coming into this method. The block doesn't necessarily have to be there, but the ampersand says, hey, we're aware of it. Now once we get inside of this method, we print hello to the screen, and then yield cedes control of the method over to the block. Now to actually call this, what we'll do is this. Now we save it, and if we run it, we should see the words hello and world printed to the screen. One of the more interesting things that you can do with blocks is actually have them execute within the context of a current method. We're actually doing that in this example, but we're not really taking into account the full power of blocks. So let's say we had a variable inside of this say hello method called name, and we wanted to do something with that later from the block. So we're going to modify this method slightly to have a name inside of it, and then we're going to pass that name into the block lower down in the say hello block. In order to actually tell the block we have a variable coming in, we pass it in up here. Now if we run this, we should see, hello Jason, today is a good day. So that was a quick tutorial on blocks. Hope you enjoyed it.